Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special midweek episode of Albion Obsessed. We have a guest on today. We don't normally do midweek ones, but we have made some arrangements thanks to our good friend Kurtis. First of all, just introduce everybody before we get into the full episode. So we are here with Kurtis. How are you, my friend?
Groovy, mate. Yeah, pretty good.
Good stuff. And we are joined, of course, by Chloe as well. How are you, Chloe?
Living the dream. Yeah, I'm great, thanks.
Good stuff. Still buzzing from the Emirates, I'm sure. So hopefully that a repeat in North London this weekend. And we have actor and big Brighton Hove Albion fan Ben today. How are you, Ben? Thanks for coming on.
I'm doing great, mate. Yeah, still on cloud nine, like Chloe said. So life is good this week.
It sure is. As I say, hopefully lightning can strike twice in North London, but we will see.
Let's bloody hope so, man. Like, it's Tottenham. Anything's possible with Tottenham. So
exactly, they've beaten us twice this season so far. So surely it's time for us to get something from them. So I guess we'll just start with the acting side of things then, Ben, and just tell everybody what you're up to. If you wanted to sort of let us know what you're up to at the moment.
Of course, mate. Yeah, well, I've actually got a show out on Channel 5 called Compulsion. And the first episode went out yesterday. And it's like a 4-part, 1 day, so 4 days following one another. So this episode 2's out tonight at 9 p.m. Well, I don't know when you're going to release this, but when we're filming this, it's out. It's out.
Decent. And you've done a few other things. I noticed you've done Bulletproof with Sky One as well. How was that?
Yeah, that was good, mate. That was a couple of years ago now, but probably like the biggest in terms of like viewing figures, the biggest thing I've done. I think it got like 6 million on average per ep or something. So that was a good laugh as well. Filmed a bit in Malta, but most of it was done in London. So I had all my mates around me and stuff, which is good.
I was going to ask actually, because I noticed you were also in a favorite film of mine, Overlord. And how does that sort of compare to doing sort of the bigger budget TV stuff?
Yeah, like that was something I've never like that. I mean, that was just on a whole different scale. Like we filmed in the same studio as Harry Potter. That was done at Leavesden Studios, Warner Brothers. And then you might have seen like the scene I'm in, where we're obviously the bunch of paratroopers in this in a plane going into Normandy on D-Day, and it was like a simulator. They built a plane, like a simulated plane. So, I mean, it was just, I've never seen anything like it. And then for the other stuff, for shooting in the villages in France, they actually built a village just outside, just in the studios, the same place they built like Hogwarts and all that stuff. Well, I mean, like the little interiors of Hogwarts. It was crazy, man. It was a great experience. Like, as I said, nothing on that magnitude. Seeing it all, the budget was insane.
So what age do you think you were at when you realised you had the acting bug? When was that, do you think?
It's a funny one. Like it started real late for me, like everyone's really surprised when I tell them, but I did sports science university. So I was like 20 years old at this point. I still hadn't really, I just done play at uni and stuff, just because I thought it'd be a laugh. And I just started to get encouraged to go for it. And I don't know, my passion for it started growing with each play I did just at uni. Then I applied for drama school, and I mean, my life just changed like within a year. It was crazy because I just did a 1-year course, came straight out and straight into a show, and it's almost like I've blinked, and I don't really know how I've got here. But it's been a roller coaster, mate. It's good fun.
Well, that's great. I mean, because I was saying to my brother earlier on, what I've noticed about your performances, you're just incredibly believable, and I feel like you really care about what you're doing, and that's always really refreshing to see. As someone, because I want to get into acting and comedy and things like that, so it's just really refreshing to see people care about the craft ultimately. So
it means a lot, mate. Genuinely, yeah, that is the goal. Like, just not for me. It's not so much putting on a show. Like, if you can buy me as a character and make it believe it's possible, then that's my job done. So it means a lot. I appreciate that.
Decent. And also saw on your Instagram as well, Ben, whilst I was doing a bit of research on you, video you posted yesterday, you've also got some voice on you, singing wise. That blew me away a little bit, and I absolutely love the version of the song that you did as well.
Thank you.
Have you had like singing lessons, or is that just part of the acting side of things, or?
No, I mean that's like performing wise. That's how it started. I was in a band with just like two of my best pals. I mean, it was more of a social club. We had such a laugh doing it, but now I'm just happy to have it as just as a bit of leisure on the side, like just do it recreationally because, you know, I mean, I love doing that stuff. I love picking up the guitar, and being able to write music or just play something whenever I want. So for me, it's just a passion. But yeah, no, I love it, man. I want to do it more in my spare time.
Cool. So obviously you've got quite the packed schedule, I would imagine, being all the things that you're in. How do you get time to watch the Albion?
No, you know what though? You'd be surprised. Like, yeah, I mean, I did shoot 2 TV shows last year, but one was, I mean, just the run with it. One was like 4 months, one was only 2 months. So really, I had 6 months off, and it kind of fell in quite nicely. Like I was in Glasgow filming Screw, the Channel 4 thing. The only problem was that was during the Euros, so I was like a bit of an alien in New York, as they would say, like being up there. But then as I finished, the season started again, and it was post, lockdown, the 2-year lockdown without fans being in the stadium. So as soon as I came back, it was amazing, man. Just being able to get back in the stadiums, the timing was perfect. So, yeah, unless I'm filming like in a different city. So I was in Liverpool doing Compulsion, had to miss a couple, had to miss Palace away and stuff. But I just got lucky with the schedules,
Yeah, definitely. And when did that all start for you then? Talking about the Albion, have you been a lifelong Albion fan, or did you grow up in Brighton?
Yeah, born in Brighton. I was born in Hove, and I lived there till I was 10. And then we just moved to London, and unfortunately now to an area where my local team's Crystal Palace. So actually at school, all my mates were Palace fans. I know I have to do that journey past through Croydon every time I come down. Like it's the worst is on Derby Day as well. I'm coming down with the Palace fans, so I just fucking head down.
I'm so sorry for you, by the way. All of us here at Albion Obsessed, we're so sorry for you.
You can swear, don't worry. We've got a guy called Aaron, shout out Aaron, who because obviously the performances of late have been suspect, except for Arsenal. And he doesn't mince his words, that's for sure. So you're all good, Ben. Don't worry. You let rip.
All right. I'd like to think I'm cutting down on my swearing, so I'll try and keep it down. But anyway, when it comes to Palace, I can say what I want. So what was the question, mate? Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I moved here when I was 10, but obviously just stuck with Brighton. And to be fair, actually, not until I got into my teens did I really start to follow it, and I understood what it means to support your local team. Because I also liked, when I was a kid, I liked teams like Chelsea. But now it's just, Albion through and through. And I mean, it means so much. Like, I'm sure it's the same with you guys when you are affiliated with the club. Like, when they win, it means everything. It's more than just picking a team for the sake of it. Do you know what I mean? So, no, I love it, man. I love the club. I love all the fans, all the people. Like, it's such a magical day. Again, as I'm sure you guys know. So, I'm really proud to be a Brighton fan.
Yeah, exactly. Do you remember that moment that you did fall in love with the club? Was there a particular game or a player?
It was towards the Bob, like when Bobby Zamora, because I'm 31 now, so it was like Zamora at the Whitdean. That was the most romantic time for me, and there was something about the Whitdean. Like, I mean, I know it was a bit of a dump, but it was just looking at like where we are now and what we've built. I kind of cherished those years of going over to that place. It was just very romantic, you know what I mean? Like, and you felt like, because it was just like an athletics track with a small stand, you felt like you're just with the players. Do you know what I mean? Like, you were really like engaged and you felt like you're part of the game. So that was when it probably started. I was actually when we were in League One, funnily enough, and then I feel like you guys are probably similar ages, maybe a bit younger, but we've supported Brighton at such a good time. Like, it's just been up and up ever since. So I mean, what is there not to fall in love with?
Yeah, exactly that. I was a little bit late to the game. I started supporting the club in 2010. That's when I sort of really got into football, and that was obviously the year that Gus got us to the championship, and we moved into the Amex the season after. So it was like last season at the Withdean, and as you say, it's just been, obviously we've had a few bumps along the road with like Sammy Hippier and people like that, but in the grand scheme of things, it's just been, as you say, an unbelievable journey. And to say that we're disappointed to be losing against Liverpool is such a privilege sometimes that you still have to pinch yourself a little bit.
Yeah, but you wouldn't change the journey for anything, in my opinion. Like I feel like we've needed to go through these tough patches to be the team that we are now and have all this togetherness, and it's fantastic. It really is fantastic. I just, I mean, like, I had my first time seeing the Albion this year alone, and I've never felt more comfortable doing anything. So because of like anxiety and all the rest, as you know, but like now I've been to 2 games and I've seen us lose 1 and draw 1, so that was great.
So the next one then, Kurtis, is a
has
win.
To be,
surely.
Has to be a win. Yeah.
Yeah, it will be, mate.
Yeah, exactly. And Chloe, I don't think we've actually ever asked you before, because you sort of merged in with the podcast, and we never sort of asked you the normal guest questions we do ask. What was your first Brighton game? Do you remember that feeling of? I guess you were quite young when you started supporting.
My first game was October 30th, 2010. Was against Peterborough at Peterborough, and we won 3-0. And yeah, I just loved it. Just from that moment, it was like, okay, yeah, I love this. I just remember my mum took me. She was like, we should take Chloe to the football because she'll love it because she can shout. And I did like it. And at Peterborough, they had terraces, so it was all standing. And I just got to swear and shout, and I loved it. And yeah, and now I just love going every week. It's like the highlight of my week, basically.
Yeah, definitely. And who was that first player
Well,
that you?
I've got an intruder.
Oh, that's all right. we like a cat on this podcast.
Oh, right, okay.
I think Chloe's frozen. So Chloe, if you can still hear me, drop out and then drop back in, and we'll re-add you to the podcast. But yeah, do you remember? Well, you mentioned Bobby Zamora, Ben. But the other players around that time, do you remember like
Leon Knight and stuff?
Who else you fell in love with? Yeah,
like Leon Knight and oh god, and then it went on to like Craig McKell-Smith. I just because I played as a forward, so I liked forwards and wingers. Obviously, everyone fell in love with Bujar. Yeah, we always had these. We actually always managed to get in these very exciting attacking players, and obviously, and on to knockout and stuff. So yeah, who else I like, man? There's a couple of defenders. Gordon Greer, for some reason, I thought he was very solid for the time we had him. But yeah, I've loved seeing all the players come and go, and then Vicente, which was just something none of us could ever have dreamed of. I remember like playing Football Manager so much as a kid, and it's like Vicente was just like the best player in the game. And I was thinking, like, have you told me that Brighton were going to sign him in the Championship? I just thought you're an idiot. That was such a moment.
Yeah,
just a few of them.
Definitely. Fair play. Sorry, Chloe, you froze as I was asking you a question. Do you remember the sort of first player you fell in love with, Chloe?
Yeah, it was Ashley Barnes. He was my first ever favourite Brighton player. I ran a fan page for him on Facebook, I remember, and it got like 200 likes or something, fairly decent. And yeah, I met him a few times. And the week before he left, because he left in the January transfer window, I met him at the Young Seagulls Christmas party, and I was like, "You're my favourite player," and got a picture with him and all this stuff. And then like a week later, it was like he left for Burnley, and I just remember being like absolutely devastated.
The betrayal, the absolute betrayal.
Yeah,
absolutely brutal.
For me though, it will always be Glenn Murray. I just love that man to pieces. So
I can't lie, he's a legend for Brighton, no doubt about it. But I'm still a little bit annoyed that he left us for Palace. I'm still a bit bitter about that, and I'll probably hold that grudge for a while.
The thing that kept me going about that was the fact that I feel, obviously we're no experts on it, but I feel that he was actually pushed and wasn't given a new contract, and Gus didn't really want him. That's my understanding on it anyway. And obviously if a club, obviously I know we hate them, but if a club like Palace come at you and offer you 30 grand a week, you're not gonna say no. And obviously he wanted to stay in Brighton as well. I'm probably making excuses for him. He played for Palace. Who am I? What am I saying? Anyway, yeah. Of late then, Ben, like what's been the standout game? Obviously, because we're at the heavy heights in the Premier League now. What's been that standout game for you that just you'll always remember?
What that I've been to, or just in life?
Yeah, just in general.
Well, like obviously I was there when we got promoted, so the pitch invasion stuff was, I mean, you just take that to the grave, man. Like it's just, that's once in a lifetime stuff. But you know, it just in general, mate, it was that the year we got promoted. It just those last 4 months, like it just felt like the whole city was together. It was so beautiful. I just that whole period, there were just game after game. Like even with knockout, when we scored at Wolves, when we beat them 2-0 before we went to play against Wigan. Sorry, the cat's going nuts. Yeah, that whole period. But then, what's some unbelievable? I mean, the Man City. It was such a shame we didn't have fans like a full stadium for the Man City game because, I mean, looking back, like the more I think about it, it's just extraordinary how we managed to do that from 2 down. But yeah, no, we couldn't be there, and I wasn't lucky enough to get a ticket.
Dan Burn tripping over himself to score a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, my absolute favourite thing.
Still remains the most Dan Burn thing ever to have happened.
I mean? Yeah, the thing is, had he not have slipped, he wouldn't have scored. So you know it. He would have gone straight to keeper.
Exactly that. And like I was lucky enough to be there. I got in the ballot 4, the fourth ballot. So I was like, I'm never getting a ticket. But they just selling. I think people were still a bit anxious about COVID. Chloe, was you at that game as well, or did you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I got in ballot 1. Luckily, I did actually have a ticket for. I think it was the Arsenal game that when they started letting a few fans back in, I managed to get a ticket for that one. But then it all locked down again, and I didn't get to go. So I was quite disappointed. But then, obviously, I got a ticket for the City game, and it was worth the wait. It was an amazing game. And the atmosphere was brilliant. I think I cried actually at that game because it was quite emotional. I hadn't been to the football in so long, and you don't realise how much you miss it. And when it's such a sort of big part of your life, I didn't used to go away as much as I did, so I was just going to the home games. But it was still such a big part of my weekends and my free time, and yeah, and I missed it so much. And then that game was just like the best return I could have hoped for.
Has that been like a part of why you do so many away games now? Is because like you, I don't want to obviously put words in your mouth, but maybe took it for granted before lockdown, and now obviously we can go to football. You're like, I have to get to every single game I can get to.
It's probably part of the reason. I did sort of want to go to more away games. I didn't feel very confident going on my own because my parents don't really go away, and I go to the home games with them. But yeah, I actually decided that I wanted to go to a few away games, and the first one was Burnley away, and I was like, you know what, I'll do it. I'll get a ticket and I'll get on the coach, and then I just sort of was like, okay, now I'm going to every away game, and I've only missed 2.
What was the score for that Burnley game? Was that one of the winning ones or one of the 0-0s?
2-1.
Oh, okay, nice, yeah.
First game of the season, wasn't it?
That's the one. Yeah, Ben, do you get to many away games at all, or?
I do, yeah, mate. Yeah, I mean, like Chloe said, I wouldn't say I prefer them because I love being in Brighton, and I just love sitting in the North Stand, like my whole group around me. But yeah, but again, it's just such a good day out. Like the best bit is when you just see other Albion fans on the train, and it's like, right, we're gonna sit down and have a beer together, and then you get to hang out in cool cities. Like often I'll stay there for the night. We'll have a night out with the boys. So I've been trying to, but they're a bit hard on the liver, mate. So I'll just try and ration them because it's a long day of boozing. Like I can't do it every weekend. I went through a stretch of doing like every away game, and after a couple of months, I was like, "No, mate, I'm getting too old for this." But I'll end up passing out. So yeah, I try and ration them, get to a few each season.
Yeah. What's been the standout away game that you've been to? Then would you say?
God,
there's so many to pick from. I'm sorry to spring that question on you, but yeah, if you had to pick one.
Do you know one I'll never ever forget, and what I told you about when we were getting promoted? Actually, I don't even think we went up that year, but there was a time we took like 6,000 to MK Dons or something. And I know another bit of it is it's just the weirdest city I've ever been to. So it just felt like I don't know. It just felt like I've been traveling for the day because you just step out the train station and it's like this Sim City built town. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And then obviously we won, and it was such an important time. But yeah, I remember that this army of Brighton fans went up when we had that high vis top. That one always stands out, and we just had such a good laugh like that day. But yeah, just because it's somewhere so random. I love going to random towns.
Yeah, definitely. I remember I went up on the coach to that game.
Yeah.
And when they dropped us off at the stadium's so weird. It's like in the middle of nowhere, but it's
Yeah.
got almost everything around it, if that makes any sense. It's got like so many shops. But if you look anywhere past that, it's like fields, and it's just so strange.
It is so strange, 100%
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, what a day that was. I remember that was like one of my first away games, and as you say, we took like 6,000-7,000 people. I think there was more away fans than home fans,
It was,
which
mate. Yeah.
I'm sure that doesn't happen every week. And the noise we made, especially when they missed a penalty at the end, and I remember my mum punching me in the face accidentally. When just the scenes were just unreal, and I just remember having this cut there. I was like, I'm wearing this like a badge of honor.
I just have this image of yes, Joe. Oh, like that.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. My mum listened to this, so yeah, no hate towards my mum, please. But yeah, no, it was a great day. Kurtis, we've obviously, once we've settled you into home games, we'll get you to an away day.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, and as I said, it's all in anxiety for me because I'm just this nervous ball of stuff, and I know, like, if I go up with like a group of everyone, it will be absolutely fine. It'll be absolutely fine. It's once I'm in the situation, I feel so comfortable all the time anyway. And every Brighton fan, apart from a couple that I've met, have been just so nice and welcoming and all the rest anyway. I mean, like, it's funny you were talking about we talk about sort of Brighton fans as a whole, but I remember being in the south of France, right, in this tiny little village town, right, and then there was this flag in a shop window, and I was like, fucking Brighton flag here, right, of all places, and there was a guy in there that had a Brighton shirt on, and we were just talking. I was talking sort of English. He had like broken English, and I was like, Brighton. He was like, Brighton, yes, and I was just like, that's so random. They're everywhere. Brighton is everywhere. Seemingly.
Yeah, I remember being in Disneyland Paris, and I was wearing a Brighton shirt, and one of the cleaners, he was like cleaning the queue, and he was like, Anthony Knockout, and I was like, yeah, he plays for Brighton. Yeah, it's just so mad how, like, probably 10 years ago, if you go to France and even if you go like halfway up the country, people would be like, who's Brighton? But now it's like almost global. So yeah, fair play to the club for boosting us that. And obviously with our rise to the Premier League, it's always going to happen with so much marketing and everything like that. Yeah, so let's talk about this season and touch on a few of the games. Let's touch on the manager first. Ben, how have you found Graham Potter's rise as manager? Do you think that there are improvements to the side? Obviously, people saying that obviously the last 7 games haven't been amazing, that we're not making much progress, but we sit 11th in the table. So in your view, has there been the improvement there?
Mate, like, honestly, I think he's a genius, genuinely. And I think about those games, mate. I mean, look, for example, with Norwich having 31 shots, like people say, that he can get our strikers one-on-one, or he can get us a penalty. At the end of the day, he can't put it in the back of the net. And it's just been, I thought last season was the most frustrating season, but like, it's the fact that we were doing so well, maybe on the brink of potentially getting a place in Europe, and then we just slip back into our old ways again. I felt like maybe 1 or 2 games went by where we missed a couple of chances, and then heads went again. Like poor Morpie, he's had so many like incredible moments this season, but you could just see he's such a reactive player. 1-2 games he slips up, and look what's happened, like a 7 game drought and stuff. So I can't fault Potter at all, and it's a shame that I'm seeing fans around me booing him and stuff. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I make sure I clap him out every game and clap the team out every game because look where we've come, and we're playing such good football, like we always do.
Yeah, exactly. And for this season, what's been the standout moment for you? Obviously, there's been quite a few, like you mentioned Malpe having a good few last minute moments. So is it one of them, or is it something different?
Single-handedly, like it'll be more by like, I mean, yeah, lucky I was at the West Ham and Chelsea game. I mean, then dislocated both my shoulders celebrating that, mate. That was absolutely pandemonium. But performance-wise, I think it's when we were 2-0 down against Liverpool and we came back, similar to the City game, to draw 2-2. Like, how much character you have to show. And we almost outplayed them. We're talking about Liverpool way. It's insane. So yeah, I'd say that one performance-wise, I think it's Liverpool away for me.
Yeah, we actually almost beat them. We got like an offside third goal as
Again,
well.
and it got disallowed, and it was such a well taken goal. Yeah,
It was.
Yeah, and obviously Trossard being the man that lifted our spirits at Arsenal and gave us that foundation to get a win. How did you view that Arsenal game? Obviously, amazing to finally get that win after 7 games.
yeah.
And Enoch Wepu, he's looking unbelievable right now.
Mate, it's funny when that lineup came out and seeing those 3 centre mids in together, like all pretty identical players, but it's like they like morph together to become some super midfielder. Do you know what I mean? But they are individually. So I see those one of the most exciting players I've seen, along with like McAllister. Yeah, I mean, obviously I managed to go, but obviously it wasn't televised, and I didn't watch the first half because just given what's been happening lately, I was like, oh god, this could be a waste of time. But then at half time, I mean, a bit plastic of me. I was like, I need to see this out now. And the second half, mate, we were just brilliant. Obviously, they had their chances, but yeah, what a goal from Mwepu as well.
Yeah, exactly that. And Caicedo, what a talent he's looking as well.
Yeah, by the way, the assist to set up that goal from
Right.
Wepu was outstanding.
Yeah, he picked him out. That wasn't just the ball just hitting into the box. And you know, when we signed Caicedo, I found a compilation. You might have seen it, of like the way he'd been playing before, just to see what he's about. I've never seen a man be able to win a ball in midfield like that. Like, he'll be 2-3 yards behind someone and out of nowhere, and he plucks the ball away from them. He doesn't just put a tackle and he ends up with the ball at his feet. And he's just going to get bigger and stronger and quicker. And obviously we're looking at him now as Basuma's replacement. It's not, I mean, Basuma's world class, but like, it's not the end of the world if we've got him waiting in the ranks.
No, exactly. And you say that the way he wins the ball, it's like almost Kante-esque. And to have a player like that, obviously, is just a game changer every day of the week. And I tweeted out the other day, and people were like, "Oh, steady on," but I said, Moises Caicedo is going to be moving on for serious money.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to by far blow our transfer record received. I'm talking like £80 million. If he can,
I think the club are quite good at like doing these really savvy, interesting signings. I think on paper you'll look at them and go, "Who the hell is this? Who the hell is this?" But obviously the club knows what they're doing, and like you got people like Mark Cucurella, right? Admittedly, I knew nothing about before he came to the club, right? But he's been outstanding, I think, this season. And like Wepu even as well. And I'm so happy to see Caicedo actually start. I thought he was, with Modder getting injured, I thought it was probably the right time. And hopefully he can start some more games because he really, really, really impressed me. So.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the players that are injured, for these players that come in and play so well, and they're probably thinking, "Oh God, I'm going to have to really, really come back fighting from my injury and get back into the side." But Moda, before he got injured, I thought arguably one of our most important players. Graham Potter certainly sees that the same. I think he'd started or played the most amount of minutes for us before he got injured. And it's just so gutting for him because he was going on to massive things, and obviously with the World Cup at the end of the year as well, I'm sure he was itching to play in that for Poland. Hopefully he can still get there, but with our medical team, I'm not feeling very promising for him anyway. So anyway, Kurtis, did you have any further questions about this season at all, or?
I don't, as it goes. I've completely forgotten if I did. So
fair play,
sorry,
fair play.
A bit frazzled today, mate. Sorry.
That's all right, mate. So am I. So let's sort of take a step back then, Ben, to the acting side of things. Like, where do you see where do you want to be in sort of 5-10 years? Like, that might sound like such a stupid generic question.
Yeah.
But do you have that goal at all?
Nah, not really, mate. Like, you just don't know what script's going to be put in front of you. I try not to plan it. And also, like, when you do receive a script, you can't really gauge actually what the end product will be. You just got a piece of paper that a lot of it will go down to directors and producers and how the show's made and as a cast, as an ensemble. But I don't know. I just love it, man. I love working with material. But I wouldn't. There's no I haven't got a burning desire to do a role. Also, I prefer doing dramas. I think you can just get I don't know, you can just get a little bit more stuck into it and just feel the old emotion of it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I live in the moment, bro. I don't try and plan the future. So
No, fair play to you.
hopefully don't take me too far away from the Albion. That's all I care about.
Exactly that. And we actually got a question off of social media. One of the guys on Seagull Social, another guy called Ben as well. I'm not sure if you know
He's
him.
my mate. Wait, hang on. Is it Ben Sport?
Yeah, he wants you to get him a cameo on New Blood if you can. So I just thought I'd put that in there for him.
Benny boy, he's a good part of mine. Yeah. All right, let's tell him I'll see what I can do. Well, they're gonna have to get it recommissioned, mate, because they got cancelled. So he might want to pick a different show.
Fair enough. I'm sure that was a show he asked me to say.
I thought it was Screw, actually.
Oh, was it Screw?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
That's possible. That's possible.
Yeah.
In which case, there you go. Pick up the phone and Ben will get you on there. What do you think then? Just going back to the Albion. Sorry, this interview seems maybe a little bit all over the place. But it's been a mad few days to get prepared for it. Like where do you see do you think the Albion are going that way to get into Europe or?
Yeah, I think like we wouldn't be idiots to stop looking beyond just staying up, and I think a lot of Albion fans don't. Like, you know, there have been a couple of rocky years, and like, you know, we've just managed to stay up. But what are we, 5 years now? We're an established side in the Prem. This is our 5th season, maybe, I think. Anyway, the fact I've lost count is a good thing. But yeah, like again, in that first half after that first half of the season, I thought there's no reason why we can't compete to get into Europe. It might take a couple more years just to build more of a foundation and a squad, but I'd like to think so, mate. Yeah, because as you said, we're going in one direction.
Yeah, definitely.
It's actually quite nice now to see, because I watch a lot of like opposition things. By the way, if you haven't, go watch the Arsenal TV clips after the Arsenal game the other day. It's the best thing. So good, so good. But what was I going to say now? I've forgotten. No. Where they're like, oh, we're playing Brighton next. It's going to be a tricky game. I'm not looking forward to that game because Brighton are hard to play against. That's always really good to hear.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be like, oh, Brighton's a stepping stone, more points, blah blah blah, like it used to be.
Teams like Brighton.
Yeah, teams like Brighton. Yeah, now it's just nice to hear that we're, you know, tricky and difficult. That's always good to hear.
Yeah, exactly that. I went on a Arsenal podcast before the Arsenal game, and obviously forgive me for being very pessimistic on there. But I was just like, that it's not going to happen. We're going to the Emirates. They want a response after the Palace game. Sorry to mention that P word. I just thought they were going to absolutely do us, and maybe that is a reflection on me and my confidence being low. But I was just so pessimistic, and now look, I actually messaged them after the game and said, "Oh well, would you look at that?" They didn't reply.
By the way, I would have paid money to see Mopé just put one past the keeper, and to see Ty lose his shit on social media again would have been gold.
Yeah, that remains one of the funniest clips I've ever seen. Brighton, I hope you get relegated. Mopé, you're a cheat. I actually asked the Arsenal fans on the podcast I went on. I said to them, "Do you actually think that Mopé was in any fault at all?" And they admitted to me that they don't actually think he was. So I don't get this hatred towards him, but I guess it's just football, isn't it? Really.
I mean, just everyone. I think it's trendy in our club, though. Also in our club, to hate on Mopé, and I don't.
It's an easy target.
Yeah, he works so bloody hard, though. I think people just concentrate on the fact that he doesn't score as many goals as he should, but he's a bloody workhorse. He works so hard.
He is, man.
I think as well, it surprised me because it's like he scored against Palace twice and he wound up Wilfried Zaha. Like, that is legend status to me. Like, yeah, he's just he is quite a Brighton player, I feel, as well. I feel he does actually play for the club.
100%.
So, yeah, that's why I love him.
Exactly that, and we all know that is a very well known thing. Even Richie Reynolds had you on the big screen talking about your love for Neil as well. I wanted to ask actually, Chloe, what do you think about this Dennis Undav coming in? Because there's no secret, he is basically Neil Mopé's twin. Is there gonna be like double love there?
Do you mean am I gonna like love them both?
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously. Yeah.
I'm sorry, my mind went places.
This is a family
Okay,
podcast, Chloe.
right.
Jesus.
It's my favorite Brighton player, probably ever. And Undav, let's see what he can do. I mean, I hope he's really good, and I don't know if he's a shit house like Neil is, because I love that. I love that he winds up the opposition. And, so we'll see. But for now, Mopé is just like my number one.
Yeah, fair play. He certainly looks a character. You see, like USG tweet like some interviews or some pictures of him, and he's like flexing in front of the fans and stuff like that. So
He's
he
going to
does
fit
look a
in
character.
very, very well.
I
Very
hope
well.
so. I hope so. Obviously, as well, we've got so many loan players coming back. Obviously, Matoma from USG as well. Ben, what player are you most excited to see come back to the Albion, and who do you think can mostly fit into this side that Graham's put together?
Yeah, Undav's one of them. Who is this Polish kid we've got on loan? Didn't we sign him? With Moda, we signed 2 Polish kids, right?
Yeah, because
The other one is. Am I right in thinking because or did we sign another one? But there was someone I saw on like the TSR football page was rated as like one of the best wonder kids in the world right now.
Yeah,
But
I think that was.
About him.
I think that was Kozlovsky. That might be the wrong way of saying it. He looks really decent, and there was I think when we signed Moda Kabovnik as well, the left back.
Yeah, it is Kozlowski.
That's who we signed with Moda. Sorry, yeah.
Oh yeah, Kabodnik. Yeah. I'm looking now. Yeah, left back.
Yeah, where is he now? Olympiacos, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that was a loan to buy deal. I'm not sure if he's even going to come back. But the other guy you're talking about also plays for USG, where Matoma and Undav are playing.
Yeah, that's it.
So hopefully, if we can get them 3 back in the side, and they've obviously formed a relationship as well, there'll be good harmonious vibes going on. And obviously, we've got the likes of Seema, Matt Clark, Ostergaard.
Yeah, but Ostergaard's doing well for himself.
Exactly that.
He fell out of favourite Stoke or something, didn't he? So I wonder what happened there, because he had a really good start. My mate's a Stoke fan as well. But I don't know why halfway through the season he left.
Yeah, no, it's
well, we talk about Seema because he was injured for a good chunk.
Ostergaard. Yeah.
Oh, right. I see. Okay.
He's doing good. He's doing well, Genoa. So yeah, he does seem like a good player.
I'm not sure if it was like a managerial thing where the manager didn't like him, or but we were right to call him back. And obviously, as you say, he's gone out to Genoa, and I think he's done well there. I think he's got sent off a few times, so maybe a little bit of a hothead. But we're used to that with a young Lewis Dunk. So and look at him. So we can't hold that against him. So yeah, hopefully he can come back in. And we've been missing that. I didn't think I would say this at the start of the season, but we've been missing the depth of our centre backs. Obviously, we're selling down Burn, a few injuries going on as well. We just haven't been able to play our system, and it's so nice to see us able to sort of operate that system with Basuma dropping in, sort of as I say like a sort of midfield sweeper, I guess. I thought he did quite well in the Arsenal game in that role. So hopefully we can get a few back and play the system that we all know and love.
Yeah, I'm glad that Webster's back and stuff now, because I never thought that we would end up missing this man, but we do.
What a guy!
Yeah, I've got that picture saved to my phone for some reason. I don't know why. But it was definitely a loss when he went, because he was really good up until the point when he left. So it's good to see people coming back from injuries. But I have said this to you before, Joe. I do worry about Webster and his injuries. I do. So
yeah, so do I. And I honestly think that this might be a really unpopular opinion amongst Brighton fans, but if like a bid of 40-50 million pounds came in for him, I would be saying accept it, because if he does get injured and he starts to go downhill, because injuries can really affect that, I think that would be quite good business for the club. Obviously, I would want him to stay and thrive at Brighton. But yeah, there might be a decision to be made there. I wanted to ask Ben as well, your stance on another infamous man at Brighton. I don't think he should be infamous at all, but a lot of people slate him. Pascal Gross. Just how good is that man?
He's good at what he does. Yeah, you're right. People don't slate him maybe because he's not, like a flair player like the rest of our attackers. But his set, like his dead balls, and obviously the Pascal, the Gross turn, officially renamed for me. Like he's good at what he does and he's reliable. I don't mind him. But just because he's not going around nutmegging people, maybe he's not in his favour as some of the more like flair attacking players. But no, I like Gross. Reliable, solid. You know what you're going to get, and he does deliver.
Exactly that, and obviously he's out of contract, I believe, in the summer. Would you be tempting him to sign a new deal if it was up to you?
I'd like him to. Like, obviously now the midfield's coming a bit saturated, so I wouldn't judge him if he wanted to leave. I think for him it could be a good career, like a move for his career. But I'd like to keep him around, mate. Someone to bring on, maybe it's like just get the set pieces in, or I would if we got a penalty tomorrow, I'd have him step up over anyone. So. For that reason, he's got his uses.
Yeah, definitely. And you always want a German to take a penalty. Ice cold, for sure. And who's, just to round off then, who's been your player of the season so far? Obviously, we've got, I think, 7 games left. Who would be your pick?
Player season's Kukurea for me.
Very good shout.
That's probably a popular one as well. He's like... Wow, what a player. He's got it all. He's just got everything you need, like attacking fullback. So, yeah. Yeah,
easily chosen. Well up there. Kurtis, who's been your player of the season so far as we're coming towards that end of the season run?
Boring, probably, but I'd probably say exactly the same as Ben. He is just so impressive in everything he does. He fights for the ball. He's so quick, and that hair, right? The hair,
the hair alone wins him that award.
Seeing it live, I was like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, like he's an outstanding player. He's just so good.
Yeah, definitely, and still so young as well. Coming through the Barcelona academy, that you've got some player there. Chloe, as we approach the end of the season, who's got your vote?
I'm sure you can actually guess who I voted for. I did actually vote for Mopé, but I think Cucurella probably will win it and probably does deserve to win it. And I think Veltman is the other sort of name. I would say one of those 3. Those are my top 3 players of the season. They've all been good and consistent, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. People don't seem to realise how many points that Mopé's saved us this season.
I think it's something like 17. I think Tom done the maths the other day, which is just nuts. Take those 17 points away that Neil got us, and we're in big trouble. It's a massive shout, and one that deserves to be at least in the top 3 if he doesn't win it. You mentioned Veltman as well, who's solid as ever. Whatever position you put him in that back line, will always deliver. So I think we've got probably one of the tightest competitions for player of the season going towards the end, whether Mwepu can get in there as well with the last 7 games.
He can score in every one of the games remaining. He's definitely got a shout.
Yeah. Exactly that. And I think we've got the same situation. Do you remember when the Leeds fans rigged our player of the season vote and Ben White won it? I think we've got the same thing for Moises Caicedo. The Ecuadorian fans are mental and they're all over it. So we could even see a Moises Caicedo win the fans player of the season.
On one appearance, yeah. I'd love that.
One appearance.
It'd be amazing.
But yeah, it could happen. It could happen. So I guess final question then. We'll just do it really quick fire. Ben, where are we finishing this season? Will it be a top half finish?
If I say one of 2 answers, I'm not going to be very popular. I think the run is quite tough. No, you know what? I genuinely believe yes. After that result,
fair play. I can't disagree. Chloe.
Yeah, I'd say probably about where we are now, maybe 12th. And either I would take because it would be a record top flight finish for us. So I'd take 100%. That. Yeah.
I think we're 5 points off of our record, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll need 2 more wins to better it. Kurtis, where are we going to finish at the end of the season?
Third, obviously. No, I don't know. Like I'm thinking like 11th, 12th as well. I think, yeah, I was starting to worry about our performances and stuff, but I think we showed a lot of heart and a lot of gumption, a lot of togetherness in that last game.
Yeah.
I feel like if we take that into our remaining games, we totally got it. I believe in us, believe in the squad. We've got this. We can do it.
At least there's going to be no people saying, "Oh, we're going to get relegated now," which is nice to see. I agree with you guys. I think it would be around about where we are now. A lot of teams that seem to be picking up form are falling off slightly again. I thought Newcastle were going to just carry on the trajectory of the new manager bounce and the new Dan Burn bounce as well, but they look a bit shaky as well. So it'll be there or thereabouts for us, and it will be a record breaking season, I believe. But yeah, I guess that rounds off our midweek special of Albion Obsessed. Didn't have a game to talk about, but obviously we can recap the whole season. And Ben, it's been great to have you on and get your views on it as well, and speak about your acting stuff. So yeah, thank you for coming on, mate.
Thank you guys, genuinely.
No worries at all. Kurtis, we will see you next time, I'm sure.
Definitely will,
and
yeah.
Chloe, thank you very much for coming on again. We'll see you after Spurs. Don't have too much fun up there, or actually, no, do have loads of fun up there. Hopefully, 3 points in North London again. But yeah,
Wait, what are our predictions for that game? I'm interested to know.
I think
actually.
Chloe made a prediction after the last game. Do you remember what it was, Chloe?
Yeah, I said we're going to win 3-1. And I stand by that.
3-1. I like that.
We'll take it. Ben?
Yeah, I've got to say 2-1 to Tottenham.
Fair enough. Back down to reality.
I'm being honest, yeah.
Fair play. Yeah, I mean they did put, what was it, 5 past Villa the other day.
Yeah, they're good. They
are. Conte's got them ticking, to be fair. Kurtis?
1-1. I think a
1-1.
draw. Yeah, I feel a draw here. Yeah.
Fair enough. Let's balance it out, and I'll say 2-0 to Brighton. So we've got the majority saying a Brighton win. So yeah, we'll take it. But again, as I say, Ben, thank you so much for coming on. And we'll chat to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Bye.